16 to shoot, lock to LeBron! Out of bounds, slam it with 2, throw it down.
LeBron James is in his 17th NBA season. He is on a mission to win his 4th NBA championship. No player has ever received so much hype coming into the league like James, and no player has exceeded the hype like LeBron has. It all started back in his senior year of high school at St. Vincent St. Mary in Akron, Ohio in 2003.
Well, simply put, Dan, LeBron James is the best high school basketball player I have ever seen. And I think as a 17-year-old, he's better than Kobe Bryant was at the same age.
Stolen by Brandon Williams. He's the truth. How many college guys or NBA guys to make that pass? Leading the Irish out. They were down big early, but there's another no-look feed. That's what we're talking about, instincts, feel for the game.
LeBron James started his NBA career in Cleveland, where he played for the Cavaliers for 7 seasons.
What a punctuating dunk from LeBron James. No way that LeBron was going to be denied.
Well, click, get ready for your Kodak moment.
James then went on to Miami to play for the Heat with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh for 4 more seasons.
Not 1 championship. Not 2. LeBron, tell us about that.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
Right out of the building, he looked like Superman.
That put it under your Christmas tree. Wade looking for the return to LeBron.
Fly in the skies and wham and jamming.
Looked like he jumped out of the mezzanine to dunk this ball. That's sending it down with some power.
After winning 2 championships with the Heat, LeBron then returned to Cleveland for a reunion with the Cavs for 4 more years.
Come on now.
He's at the park right now. He's out there playing around, DB.
James takes fire. Ball game. He did it. LeBron James.
James with a dance to the hoop. There, 3, fade away out of bounds, using glass, and he ties it at 120. An unbelievable shot.
Another iconic moment. James with the game winner. And they go up 3-0.
Where's huge defensive play by the 4-time MVP.
LeBron James won another championship in Cleveland and finally signed on with the Los Angeles Lakers in 2018. In 2019, Coach Frank Vogel decided to declare LeBron James as the Lakers' starting point guard. James has always been a good passer and does have the ball in his hands the majority of the time, but the Lakers wanted to feature LeBron's unique passing skills like they did for a certain Magic Johnson in the 80s, and the results have been more than adequate.
LeBron with his back to the basket, trying to force his way in. Behind the back, it gets to Bradley, and he scores! The block party continues. LBJ, bounce, Kuzma, count it! Young is going to lean in short, taken by LeBron. Long lead, perfect again to Caldwell Pope. Now it's LeBron, looking for his first assist. And what a great play!
As of March 10th, LeBron James had 636 assists to lead the NBA with a 10.6 assists per game average. He is the only player in the league to average double-digit assists.
Lost control of the ball. Alex, the hook pass, good hands by LeBron. Look at this feed to Howard. Another great Showtime feed from James to Dwight. Jordan Poole, a couple of years in Michigan. Oh, great pass!
Easy shot inside the melon.
3-point Laker lead, shot clock at 5. Nice pass from LeBron. Kuzma, and one. Backing him down. Oh, what a pass by James.
Attendance tonight. LeBron putting on a show. Lob to Kuzma!
A good source of LeBron's assists come from his teammate Anthony Davis. James has dropped 172 dimes to AD all by himself, by far the most on the team. 113 of those assists from LBJ to AD are for dunks or layups.
LeBron has 15 assists tonight. Make it 16 on a sensational alley-oop.
And Powell trying to track down the loose ball. And look at LeBron getting it ahead to Davis.
It's a three by Antetokounmpo, and it's picked up by LeBron. Down court, Anthony Davis. Fires it. Rebound LeBron, ahead of the pack is AD from LBJ.
Other guys certainly would factor into that starting lineup. Up top and a punch by AD right to the jaw.
The Lakers started the new year 26-7, leading the Western Conference. After their worst losing streak of the year, lasting just 4 games, the Lakers regrouped to win 12 of their next 15 games.
Does a great job with the low dribble.
Danny Green, long. AD! What a play! This Mickey's going to give them an extra 14. The lob to AD! They've won 4 games in a row. Good hands by Danny Green.
That was helping the helper.
4 on 2. AD again! There, maybe altered the shot. Lob, Davis. Oh, with one hand! Full figures the game before. That's
JaVale to beat the clock.
Oh, good! JaVale banks it in. The bank is open on a Sunday. Try to continue that. Blocked by Dwight. He joins the party. Then falling down at the other end is Brown, and Caruso scores! That by Rondo. 1 minute left, closing it out. There's Rondo. There goes his headband. And not bad on the pitch. And a 3. Got it! Dwight Howard, another 3! And in amongst the trees, rebound to LeBron. Missed by Luka. LeBron in the attacking zone. He spins. He goes all the way to score. LeBron James. And with that, he passes Michael on the all-time 14th year in the league. Knocked away. KCP. Here he goes all the way to lay it in. Tough shot. Good defense by Dwight. Coming out and closing out. Long lead by Rondo. There's KCP. Count it! Rondo will make it 30. There's that scoop and a scoop. 23 points. McGee. He's going to attack! quarters. Tatum putting moves on Daniels and hits the Lakers. Lakers looking for offensive interference. Tatum off the stick. He punches.
After getting blown out in Boston, the Lakers had a record of 34-9. Next, the Lakers had to play 3 games on the East Coast. They beat the New York Knicks again in the Garden. They destroyed the New Jersey Nets, and then they lost to the Philadelphia 76ers. The Lakers now had a record of 36-10, still tops in the Western Conference. But tragedy would strike and rock the entire sports world.
Breaking news this Sunday afternoon, 5-time NBA champion, former league MVP Kobe Bryant died earlier this afternoon in Los Angeles in a helicopter crash. News reports are just coming in among multiple victims, Kobe Bryant on that helicopter.
Well, one of the biggest revelations that we heard was that there were actually 9 people on the manifest of the helicopter. We believe it was on its way to a basketball game where his daughter Gigi was playing.
Playing these games.
I wanted to be the best big player I could be.
LeBron James made his first public comments last night on Instagram. My heart goes to Vanessa and the kids. I promise you, I'll continue your legacy, man. You mean so much to us all here, especially Laker Nation. And it's my responsibility to put this on my back and keep it going.
Kobe Bryant's death was shocking, but was especially difficult on the Los Angeles Lakers organization. The NBA respectfully rescheduled their upcoming game against the Los Angeles Clippers. 5 days after Kobe's death, the Lakers would have to take the court against the Portland Trailblazers. The Lakers were not ready for Damian Lillard.
Once again, Rookie very active. Lillard on the steal, fires away, 2 for 1, and hits the three-pointer.
Or the East. Beal doesn't make it in the East.
Wow, look at that.
When I look out at what you would want your NBA player to look at, oh my goodness.
Wow. Lillard, shot clock at 5. Lillard, long three-pointer. That's good. Damian Lillard. Lillard, count it, and the foul. Bradley, an all-NBA defensive player. Lillard spins, pulls up, puts it up, puts it in. Damian Lillard with 46.
The Lakers were able to find their groove by winning 5 of the next 6.
He got an assist number 10.
Very deep, and he throws it right to Anthony Davis, trying to find the cutting Aldridge. That's now LeBron. Oh, here comes McGee! That's a good run by JaVale.
He didn't just get contact with Reed. Picked up the 5.
From 3-point, LeBron again. Got it! 5-2-0-5. LeBron, another one! LeBron, one-hand step back!
He's going to shoot another one.
He's thinking about it. He wanted to. Patty Mills got right up in his jersey. Fly by. LeBron! Yes, sir!
Look at his teammates off the bench to help him up after he fell backwards to the floor. LeBron now with 32 points in 30 minutes.
When you look at guys who've taken at least 100 threes, he has the worst three-point percentage. So they
put up all year, making with bodies bigger than him. Well, Westbrook certainly knows where to get took advantage. Now Westbrook with the move. And hits. Also Westbrook has had a sensational game. Defeat the Lakers 121, 111.
One won't go. LeBron James with the rebound. James already with 5 assists. Throws it up to Howard, and Howard with the slam.
I thought you meant about Reyes. I'm a skilled fighter.
Oh, Kuzma to Howard. Now makes his move. James, step back, three-pointer. Bang! LeBron James from downtown, and that seals the deal.
Kuzma's going to have to fire, and he's got it! Time this Phoenix team made the playoffs 2000. Oh, he got it! Way up! 4 years. Lakers Kuzma. Oh, that goes in!
That's going to count.
It does count!
He just goes up toward the basket, and it wasn't even any kind of a shot attempt, but it sure looked like a pretty good shot by Kuz.
To shoot LeBron has it.
Did a great job just out hustling, for play.
From LBJ. Rebound, Dwight Howard. Take one, strike twice, throw it down. Vince was right with him. He was right in front of the Lakers. They were trying. Oh, LeBron! They do. KCP. Here comes LeBron.
Participate.
BJ on Caruso. Kicks up. KCP's got it.
LeBron, because you were the leading vote-getter overall, that earns you the right, once again, to have the first pick.
All right, so with the #1 pick in the 2020 All-Star game, and this was tough. I'm going to go with Anthony Davis as my #1 pick.
The All-Star break gave the Lakers some much-needed rest. While LeBron James and Anthony Davis made the All-Star team and played together as teammates, Dwight Howard decided to perform in the dunk contest. On his first dunk, he transformed into Superman while honoring Kobe Bryant with the number 24 draped across his chest. Dwight Howard was traded during the offseason in 2012 to the Los Angeles Lakers to join up with Kobe Bryant and Steve Nash in what looked like the makings of a super team. Nash was an aging point guard and Howard was coming off of back surgery, but the Lakers decided to take a chance and go for another potential championship. Needless to say, the experiment did not go well. Steve Nash missed large chunks of the season, and Dwight Howard was not living up to expectations. Kobe Bryant tore his Achilles late in the season while carrying a massive load just trying to get the Lakers barely into the playoffs. The Lakers played the San Antonio Spurs in the first round of the playoffs and got swept. The last image of Dwight Howard as a Laker was him being ejected from the game from 2 technical fouls.
55-34, and Dwight Howard's season is most likely over.
The Lakers tried to re-sign him in the offseason, but Dwight Howard chose to leave, and he signed with the Houston Rockets. Kobe Bryant did not take kindly to Dwight's decision to bail. When the Lakers played the Rockets for the first time, Dwight clipped Kobe with an elbow for an offensive foul. Kobe responded by calling Dwight Howard soft. When DeMarcus Cousins went down with the torn ACL this offseason, it opened up an opportunity for Dwight Howard to make amends. 7 years had gone by since leaving LA the first time, but Dwight decided to return as a role player for the minimum veteran salary. Dwight Howard has played a key role this season with the Lakers and has provided veteran leadership. He has been the consummate professional in the locker room and has controlled the paint with his ferocious dunks and block shots.
Shots. They're going to look to try to continue that. Blocked by Dwight. The guy who wanders in the cover. Oh, it's brought right back down by Dwight. Interim head coach. Boy, Dwight came over to block it. Oh, yeah, he's caught. Here's Bradley. Alex, the hook pass. Good hands by LeBron. Look at this. Straight to Howard. Handoff goes to KCP. Here he goes. The lob to Dwight.
James, the 15-time All-Star, as Kuzma lobs it up to Howard.
Off the glass. Prior to that, Caldwell Pope all the way. To Dwight. Where it counts most. Bob underneath slam. Dunk. Caruso gets rejected by Bubba, but then he goes to Dwight.
The Lakers began the post-All-Star break with a record of 41-12, still tops in the Western Conference. Their next opponent would be the Memphis Grizzlies.
Morant knew he had missed it. Now the Lakers have numbers. Danny Green with LeBron. Into the corner, AD. Here he goes, attacking the rim. Scoop it up. Shot. Grizzlies at it again. All going right past KCP. Blocked by Davis, who chased back. Up for KCP all the way. Count it!
Anthony Davis, show off a little bit on the defensive end.
Just before their next game, an opportunity presented itself. Markieff Morris was waived by Detroit, and the Lakers were able to sign him for the rest of the season. In order to make room for Morris, however, the Lakers decided to waive DeMarcus Cousins, who never played a minute for them due to his injury. Markieff Morris's twin brother Marcus signed with the Los Angeles Clippers just days before. The Morris twins would get to play each other soon enough, but next on the agenda for the Lakers was a game against the hated Celtics and a chance to avenge their loss in the Garden just a few weeks ago.
Tatum against Caruso, spins, gets inside, and banks it home. Boy, so impressive. Shoots over Davis, knocks another three down. Ahead to Tatum, one man to beat. Oh, and Tatum wide open, puts it in. Jason Tatum with 25. Tatum outside again. Jason Tatum with his fourth three. Romeo, where art thou? Help! He defended him well. They swing it. James for three. Puts it in. Likes it over to Brown. Backs in. Falling away. Got it! LeBron James gives the Lakers a 1-point lead.
LeBron's fadeaway jumper was the beginning of the Avengers tour for the Lakers. Up next for the Lakers would be the New Orleans Pelicans, as they would get their first glimpse at Zion Williamson.
Long arms of Anthony Davis, got a rejection at the waist. James, reverse is good. A rebound, up ahead, Zion. What a bring it home! Green got a hand on it, now Caruso runs a break. Caldwell Pope goes to the wing, here's James! Oh! Punch it home, LeBron!
But I'm just letting you know, but
Never had Bob. No point. Oh, that's Zion.
now that's Bob. Defensive balance by New Orleans to get back. But here,
Pelicans trying to take it inside, and they are being met heavily. LeBron James. Zion on LeBron James, and he hits the three. You knew he was going to make it.
After beating Zion Williamson's Pelicans in Los Angeles, the Lakers split their next 2 games on the road, an easy win at Golden State and a tough loss in Memphis. They would again take on Zion and the Pelicans, this time in New Orleans, for a chance at sweeping all 4 games against them this season. LeBron James would show why he is still the king.
James bodying Josh Hart. Too powerful for him. LeBron up and under, good, and one.
Give up 4 points tonight, obviously.
James going at Zion, and LeBron wins that one. No good. Rebounded by James, looking to run here. LeBron bounce pass to Kuzma for 2. 11 in the quarter. Wow, James for about 13 triple-doubles now for LeBron James. Tying Luka Doncic for the NBA lead. And going up against Williamson, fires. Hits a
3 over. After avenging their loss to the Celtics and beating Zion twice, the Lakers had a huge week ahead of them. Upcoming were 3 teams the Lakers were a combined 0-4 against. The Lakers needed to prove to the naysayers that they could beat the upper echelon of teams. Up first was Philadelphia.
In Memphis. That's a good ball fake. Scored. Lakers have time. They don't need to force it. If they do, trying to get it. Neto, they're going to get a good look. Neto, an open 3. And that's
Philadelphia opened up an 11-point lead early in the second quarter. But the Lakers would go on a massive run and never look back.
got it. Lob to AD. He's not going to miss that one. Anthony Davis. Behind his back. AD coast to coast. Shake and bake for LBJ. Hangs in the air. Oh, Anthony's open. Here it goes. Yes! Finds himself followed up at the baseline. AD! Hey, 16 in the quarter for AD. Defense. Offense. KCP from LeBron. They take it away again. Davis, here he goes. AD slam dunk. Matisse Bible needs that defense.
LeBron would put the final nail in Philly's coffin. Up next on the Avengers tour was the Milwaukee Bucks, who had the best record in basketball.
Tedekubo drives, blocking foul, count it, and one. Find after a buyout with Charlotte.
The Bucks would start out strong.
Layup short. Connaughton keeps it alive and throws it down. Percentage this year as they get the offensive rebound off the miss. Then Tedekubo spins, gets inside, and finishes. Davis, Danny Green.
But LeBron James would begin to force his will.
Paint and finishes. James goes inside with
eliminating the dominance of Giannis.
Danny Green for 3. James finding his spot, goes inside, foul, and one, rolls around and drops through.
And AD would finish them.
It's Davis and Caruso. Davis drives inside, layup's good. Behind the back, off the foot of Antetokounmpo. Davis gets it back, pull-up jumper, it's good. Anthony, what a second half for Anthony Davis. Caruso to James. James spins and throws it down.
The Lakers would have one more opponent to avenge, the Los Angeles Clippers, who had already beaten them twice this season.
Up and under, off the glass. Oh, that's sweet Lou.
An offensive rebounder, Caruso, yet to know.
The game would go back and forth early.
Throws it inside, and the finish from Markieff Morris.
It's scary, but I agree with you.
But then the Lakers would go on a barrage of 3-point shooting.
Right, a hot hand. That's not an easy decision.
Avery Bradley once again. There's Rondo. Caldwell Pope for 3. Rondo up top. Davis, a three-pointer. It's good. Finally, sit back here is getting that playoff lost voice sound as LeBron James hits the three.
The Clippers would try to fight back.
Because it certainly is. Harrell and the foul. And then the bucket. The Lakers back up by 8. Kawhi Leonard jumper. That's good.
But LeBron James would not allow it.
Stepping in the paint to Davis for the slam. This building is filled with Laker jerseys. James drives, layup, count it, and the foul.
After finishing off the Clippers, the Lakers were feeling good about themselves. They had a record of 49-13 and were still first in the Western Conference, leading the Clippers by a full 6 games. But things would begin to get weird as they played their next game against New Jersey.
So if you try to help off of that side, you're in trouble. Dinwiddie on its way. Spencer Dinwiddie to attack. Here he goes all the way. Can't score. Loose basketball. AD has it. It's loose.
Upon hearing about rumors of the spread of the coronavirus from overseas to the United States, Rudy Gobert playfully touched all the microphones at his press conference. The next day, Gobert actually found out that he had tested positive for the virus. News began to spread throughout the NBA and the league began to suspend games.
I'm Scott Van Pelt here at ESPN. This astounding and unprecedented story continues to evolve. At halftime with Adrian Wojnarowski, I suggested that we would speak to him soon. I had no idea that it would be this soon. He has just tweeted within the past 2 minutes that the NBA is suspending the season. I say that understanding that as we speak, the game in Dallas is continuing.
First reaction and thought when you learn that the season's been suspended.
This is crazy. This can't be true. I mean, it's not within the realm of possibilities. It seemed more like out of a movie than reality.
The coronavirus became a worldwide pandemic, and it appeared as if the NBA would have to cancel the entire season. The hiatus lasted for months. But then came good news.
NBA inviting 22 teams to Orlando. This is what the plan will look like. 13 Western Conference, 9 Eastern Conference, 8 regular season games per team. Play-in for the 8 seeds, July 31st to October 12th.
The NBA is returning. They will play in a bubble in Orlando, Florida. Players undergo testing daily to maintain a clean environment. There will be 8 games remaining before the playoffs begin, and the Lakers will open their remaining schedule against none other than their rivals, the Los Angeles Clippers. Avery Bradley has decided to opt out of playing in the bubble, while the Lakers picked up J.R. Smith to join their team. Rajon Rondo went down with a hand injury, but is scheduled to return in time for the second round of the playoffs. What makes an NBA champion? Is it playing through adversity? Is it rising above all the noise, the hurdles, and the distractions to still get the job done? Will LeBron James and Anthony Davis be able to overcome all the noise to bring home the Lakers' 17th championship? There will be no fans. There will be no home games. There will be no family. Everything will be different. The Lakers restart their quest to cap an amazing, albeit strange season on July 30th. Will you be watching? Will you witness greatness? Will you witness the Lakers' 17th championship? Tune in for the conclusion of Hindsight 2020, a look back at the 2019-2020 Los Angeles Lakers. If you enjoyed this documentary, please hit the like button, drop a comment, and make sure to subscribe. Turn on notifications so that you will be notified when Part 3 releases. Thank you for watching on the Guy Talk Network.